The call came in the dead of night, jarring me out of a restless half-sleep. My phone vibrated against the nightstand, and when I answered, the voice on the other end trembled. "Mr. Carter, listen to me. I'm erasing this footage, but you need to take your babies and leave that house. Tonight. As a father to another father, I'm begging you." I sat upright, heart slamming against my ribs. I'd already been awake, staring at the ceiling while my wife, Rochelle, lay turned away from me. Her phone had been buzzing all night with messages she thought I didn't notice. "What did you see?" I whispered. The man's voice cracked. "Brother, what I just witnessed in your kitchen, it made me sick. Your wife and some young dude." "I'm so sorry." My hands shook as I pulled up the live feed on my tablet. And there it was, Rochelle, the woman I'd loved for 16 years, bent over the kitchen counter we'd shared countless meals on. Behind her, a man moving like he owned her. Then, he turned toward the camera. My chest hollowed out. "My little brother. Please don't forget to like and subscribe." It was Isaiah. My own blood. My 21-year-old half-brother is from my father's second marriage. For a long moment, I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Rochelle never stirred beside me as I threw on clothes, scooped up my children, Nia and Malik, still groggy with sleep, and shoved essentials into a bag. By the time the first light of dawn crept across the curtains, we were gone. Rochelle never even noticed. 3 weeks earlier, anyone would have said I had it all. At 41, I was the operations manager at a major shipping company, making good money, respected in the community. Rochelle was the polished homemaker, always hosting her girlfriends for wine nights, always present at the school volunteering tables. Our house was a big brick colonial in Cleveland Heights, the picture of success. But if you leave a thermostat on auto long enough, both the air and the marriage eventually go cold. The cracks began 6 months ago. Rochelle's phone was glued to her hand. She'd giggle at messages during dinner, swiping them away when I asked who it was. "Just Tasha acting silly," she'd shrug. Her nights out grew longer. 2 a.m., she'd stumble back reeking of wine and men's cologne I didn't recognize. I should have noticed sooner. The gym clothes were my first real clue. Rochelle hadn't worked out a day in her life, not since we were teenagers. But suddenly she was up at 6 every morning, heading to yoga, buying leggings that cost more than my suits. "You look great," I told her one day, forcing a smile. She flashed me that hollow grin that never reached her eyes. "I'm doing this for me, not for you." That should have been the alarm bell ringing loud enough to wake the dead. Isaiah started showing up more around that same time. He dropped out of college after just 1 semester, which broke our father's heart. Still, Dad never held him accountable. Isaiah was the golden boy, the second chance Dad always said he'd wanted. "Can Isaiah stay in the guest room for a while?" Rochelle asked one evening in March, her voice too casual. "Just until he finds a job. You know how your dad pressures him." I knew too well. Isaiah was Dad's redo child, the one who could do no wrong. Meanwhile, I was the one who had to carry the weight, who always had to succeed. And Rochelle? She looked at Isaiah like he was the sun itself. Isaiah showed up with nothing but a duffel bag and that smirk he'd been using since childhood to escape consequences. He was everything I wasn't at his age: tall, athletic, reckless, magnetic. People gravitated toward him, especially women. "Appreciate you, big bro," he said, clapping me on the back. "I owe you one." He owed me more than one, though I didn't know how deep the debt would cut. At first, things seemed fine. He played video games with Malik, helped Nia with her homework, even charmed Rochelle back into laughter I hadn't heard in months. She watched him like he was proof she hadn't wasted her life. "He's really growing up," she told me one night, eyes soft as she looked across the room at him. "Your dad was wrong about him." I wanted to believe her. He was family. And despite his laziness, I did love him. At least, the boy I thought I knew. But I'd seen this story before. Isaiah always played the perfect houseguest until he got bored. Then he'd vanish, leaving chaos in his wake. I just never imagined that chaos would include my wife. The shift was subtle at first. Rochelle woke early just to make Isaiah coffee before his job interviews. She folded his laundry without being asked. I mentioned it once, but she brushed me off. He's trying, baby. We should support him. Support turned into indulgence quickly. Isaiah's job hunt was all talk. He'd leave mid-morning and return early afternoon, bragging about networking. Meanwhile, he was driving Rochelle's car, charging food and gas to our accounts. How long is this supposed to last? I asked Rochelle one evening. He just needs time to figure things out. Remember how lost you were at his age? No, I didn't remember being lost. I remembered juggling 2 jobs to pay for school while Dad financed Isaiah's private education. But I bit my tongue. The breaking point should have been the afternoon I found him in my office, rifling through paperwork. Just looking for a pen, he said, flashing that grin. Hope you don't mind. I minded. But when I told Rochelle, she excused it. He admires you. Probably curious. Isaiah didn't admire me. He resented me. My success, my family, my stability, all the things Dad never gave him but demanded from me. The cameras were my idea. There'd been a break-in 2 streets over, and Rochelle had confessed she didn't feel safe with me traveling so much for work. Please, she whispered, I don't like sleeping in this house alone. So, I hired a local security company. The owner, an ex-cop named Derek, was straight-laced and professional. He recommended the full package: cameras, sensors, the works. Big house, kids inside. Can't be too careful, he said as his team installed the system. Cameras in the living room, kitchen, garage, front and back doors. No bedrooms, but everything else was covered. You'll have access right from your phone, Derek explained, showing me the app, live feed, alerts, recordings. If anything unusual happens, you'll know. I thought unusual meant burglars or raccoons. I didn't imagine it would capture my wife with my brother, their bodies tangled on the kitchen counter where my children ate breakfast. That night, the first alert came. 2:47 a.m. I checked the camera, expecting Malik sneaking a glass of water. Instead, I saw Rochelle pressed against the marble, her head tilted back in ecstasy I hadn't witnessed in years. And Isaiah behind her, gripping her hips like he'd been there all along. I watched for less than a minute before bile rose in my throat, and I stumbled into the bathroom, retching until my chest heaved. When I returned, the kitchen was empty. Just silence. That's when Derek called. I monitor new systems for the first week, he said, voice solemn. When I saw that feed, I had to call. I got kids myself. A man shouldn't have to witness that. His words barely penetrated the fog of humiliation choking me. Rochelle, my wife of 16 years. Isaiah, my baby brother. In my home. Under my roof. While my children slept upstairs. The fury came in waves. At first hot and violent, I wanted to storm down and drag them both into the street. Then cold and sharp, whispering of revenge. But beneath it all, a crushing weight. Humiliation. Everyone would know. My father, who always compared us. My children, who looked to us for stability. Rochelle's circle of friends, who already acted like our life was a reality show. And Isaiah. My own brother. The boy who once called me his hero. That's when I decided. I wouldn't be the victim. I'd make them pay. First, I had to protect my children. I packed them up, rented a loft downtown, and told the landlord we were staying while our house underwent renovations. Nia, at 15, wasn't fooled for a second. Malik, only 11, thought it was an adventure. Takeout dinners, walking to school, city lights outside the window. Why can't Mom come stay too? Malik asked one night, his voice soft with worry. She's handling some things at the house. I answered, which wasn't a lie. Nia's eyes, sharp and suspicious, locked onto mine later. Are you and Mom getting divorced? We're working through some problems, I said carefully. Her gaze cut deeper. Is this about Uncle Isaiah? The air froze. My heart stalled. What about him? She sighed, rolling her eyes. Come on, Dad. I see how Mom acts around him. Like a teenager with a crush. It's disgusting. If my daughter could see it, who else had noticed? How long had I been the fool, the man everyone pitted behind his back? I swallowed hard. Your mother and I will figure things out. But right now, You and Malik stay with me. That's what matters. The first few days, Rochelle called constantly. I ignored most of them, but her voicemails piled up. Adam, please. The kids weren't at school. I called your job. They said you're on leave. Where are you? Call me back. Whatever you think is happening, we can fix it. By day 4, I finally picked up. Adam, thank God. Where are the kids? Are they okay? They're safe. With me.
Where?
Please, you're scaring me. What's scary, I cut her off, is what you did in my kitchen at 2:47 last Tuesday. Her breath caught. Then came sobbing. I can explain. Explain why you're sleeping with my brother where our children live. Her sobs turned to a broken wail. It didn't mean anything. I laughed, bitter and hollow. 16 years thrown away for nothing. Come home.
Please.
I'll make Isaiah leave. Don't do anything crazy. Crazy. That word stung. The woman betraying me in my own house was worried I'd lose control. I'm not crazy, Rochelle. I'm protecting my kids from the mess you created. You can't keep them from me forever. I'm their mother. You should have thought about that before you climbed into bed with Isaiah. That night, I called Diane, the best divorce attorney in Cleveland. Diane had a reputation, steel and heels, the kind of woman who could get a cheating spouse in court and make them smile while she did it. Adultery gives you grounds, she explained after I told her everything. But it doesn't guarantee custody. Courts care about what's best for the children. What if I can prove she brought her lover into our home, where our kids live? Her eyes lit up behind her glasses. You have evidence? Video. Her smile turned sharp. Then we'll bury her. While Diane handled the legal fight, I started gathering my own intel. Rochelle had always overshared online. Facebook, Instagram. Every detail of her wine nights with her girlfriends was there. But in the background of several pictures, there he was. Isaiah. At birthday parties, dinners, lounges. Always next to Rochelle. Always smiling like he had a prize he didn't deserve. The worst were the posts from Rochelle's closest friend, Tasha. She documented everything. Selfies at bars. Wine glasses clinking, Rochelle perched on Isaiah's lap like she was 20 again. Her friends all commented, "Girl, you're glowing. Living your best life." They knew. All of them knew. It wasn't just betrayal. It was mockery. A whole circle of so-called friends celebrating my humiliation. Rochelle's affair wasn't just a secret. It was a performance, and I was the punchline. That's when my anger sharpened into purpose.
Rochelle.
Isaiah. Her little clique of enablers. They'd all laughed at me. Now I would return the favor. I called Derek, the security installer. Quick question, can someone else access my cameras without my login?
No, he said.
Encrypted, password protected. Why? I just need to know if anyone can see me coming. There was a pause. You planning something? Legal. Mostly. His chuckle was grim. I've been a cop 20 years. Infidelity turns people into strangers. Whatever you do, make sure you can live with it. Oh, I can live with it, I replied. The question is whether they can. That night, I spread screenshots and court papers across my desk like battle maps. Rochelle thought I'd roll over, thought I'd disappear quietly. She was wrong. Isaiah wanted my life. He was about to learn what it meant to live like me, cold, methodical, merciless when protecting what matters. The war had begun. I started with Isaiah's beloved car, a red Camaro he'd bought with money meant for college. Lately, he drove Rochelle's BMW instead, but the Camaro still sat in my driveway like a trophy. On Thursday, after they both left for their little daytime adventures, I parked down the block and walked back with a small bag of supplies. No slashed tires, that was obvious. Instead, I removed the valve stems, letting the air out slow. To the eye, the tires looked fine. Then I glued the locks, not permanently, just enough to jam them. For the finale, I painted cheater across the windshield and homewrecker on the driver's door in washable paint. Not permanent, but visible to every neighbor on the block. I was gone before anyone saw. 3 hours later, Isaiah called, raging. What the hell did you do to my car? I kept my voice flat. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play dumb. Tires flat, locks glued, paint all over it.
Sounds terrible, I said.
You call the cops yet? You did this. You know what I know, Isaiah? That you've been sleeping with my wife under my roof. Maybe ask yourself why someone might want to send you a message. Silence stretched, then he muttered. Monica told you. She didn't tell me a damn thing. The cameras did. More silence. When Isaiah spoke again, his voice was colder. What do you want? I want you out of my house. Away from my wife. Away from my kids. Permanently. And if I don't, then what happened to your car will feel like a love letter compared to what's coming next. He laughed, but it was hollow. You don't scare me. You're just bitter. A middle-aged man who couldn't keep his wife satisfied. We'll see, I said, and hung up. Immediately, I called Derek. Send me all yesterday's footage, especially the driveway.
He obliged.
The video showed Isaiah's tantrum, kicking the Camaro, trying to smash the glued locks with a rock. Then Rochelle came home, saw the graffiti, and started screaming at him in the middle of the street.
Perfect.
I saved the footage in 3 different clouds and sent copies to Diane. This is gold, she said. Shows their recklessness. Shows their public dysfunction. Judges love evidence like this. What about vandalism? What vandalism? All I see is a man finding his car trashed. Diane was worth every penny. That night, Rochelle called in tears. Adam, please.
Stop this.
Tyler's car, the threats, you're scaring me. This isn't you. You're right, I said calmly. The old me tolerated humiliation. That man's dead. You killed him. It was a mistake. A stupid mistake. But we can fix this if you come home. Is Isaiah gone? A pause. He's at a friend's tonight. That's not what I asked. Is he gone for good? Another pause. Adam, he doesn't have anywhere else. Not my problem. You made your choice. You chose him. I chose us. That's why I'm fighting for this. No, I said, voice like ice. You chose my brother. That's your definition of commitment. Her sobs once controlled me. Now they just sounded pitiful. Please don't do this. Don't destroy our family. I'm not destroying it. You did. I'm just making sure the world knows who to blame. I hung up and blocked her number. The next morning, our neighbor Mr. Green called. Adam, I don't want to meddle, but my wife's heard noises late at night from your place. Unusual activity. That young man, Isaiah, he's in and out all hours. The humiliation tightened around my throat. Even the neighbors knew. That was the last straw. I wasn't content with small strikes anymore. I wanted annihilation. The perfect opportunity landed in my lap, Rochelle's charity gala. She'd spent months planning it, crowning herself queen of family values in the community. I called the hotel. I'd like to surprise my wife with a family video presentation. The coordinator was delighted. Of course, Mr. Carter. Just send it over. I spent 3 days creating it. It began sweet, our wedding, the kids' baby photos, Christmas mornings. Heartwarming, wholesome. Then came the footage. Rochelle and Isaiah at 2:47 a.m., undeniable in their betrayal. Not pornographic, but unmistakable. Caption: Rochelle Carter and Isaiah Carter, committed to family values, in the family kitchen. The last slide: some families stick together. Others stick it to each other. Adam Carter. Saturday night, I arrived in my best suit. Rochelle froze when she saw me. What are you doing here? Supporting education. You look beautiful. Her smile was strained, her hands shaking. Isaiah lingered near the bar, pale and nervous. When dinner ended, Rochelle took the stage. Tonight, my husband has prepared a video about why family values matter to us. She smiled directly at me. Such a wonderful surprise. The lights dimmed. The first half of the video drew polite applause. Wedding photos, baby smiles, happy vacations. Rochelle relaxed, believing I'd forgiven her. Then the timestamp flashed. 2:47 a.m. Rochelle bent across the counter. Isaiah behind her. Gasps echoed across the ballroom. Jesus Christ, someone shouted. Is that her brother-in-law? Rochelle's face crumbled on stage. Isaiah shrank in the corner, eyes wide with panic. By the time the final slide appeared, the room was chaos. Murmurs, laughter, disgust. Rochelle screamed at the AV tech to shut it off, but it was too late. 200 of Cleveland's finest now knew the truth. I stood, buttoned my jacket, and walked toward the exit. As I passed Rochelle, I paused. Thank you for a lovely evening. I think everyone learned a lot about family values tonight. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. Isaiah tried to follow me, shoving through the crowd, but I was already gone, head high, lighter than I'd felt in months. Phase 1 was complete. Rochelle's reputation shattered. Isaiah exposed. And the whole city buzzing. But I wasn't finished. The real game had just begun. By morning, the video was everywhere. Someone had filmed it and posted it online. Family Values Gala trended across social media. News stations ran segments calling it the most shocking scandal in years. Rochelle's Facebook turned into a battlefield of comments. So much for family values. That poor husband. With his own brother? Disgusting. Her friends, the ones who cheered her on, locked their accounts, but not before screenshots spread. Isaiah became the city's favorite villain, the young homewrecker, the predator. On Monday, Isaiah stormed into my office. My assistant nearly called security. His clothes were wrinkled, his eyes bloodshot. You destroyed us, he yelled. You had no right. I stood, calm but firm. No right? You slept with my wife in my house while my kids slept upstairs. I didn't destroy you. You destroyed yourself. She loved me. You couldn't make her happy. She loved the idea of you. But ideas don't last. He stepped closer, fists clenched. This isn't over. Yes, it is, I said, sitting back down. It was over the moment you betrayed me. Everything since has just been cleanup. His glare promised vengeance, but his hands shook. Finally, he left, slamming the door. The fallout was swift and merciless. Rochelle was suspended from the foundation board. Her friends, exposed as accomplices, were cast out of their social circle. Isaiah, infamous, couldn't find a job anywhere in town. Then Diane called with the final blow. Her lawyer wants to settle.
Full custody to you. The house.
60% of assets. She's finished, Adam. We met in Diane's office. Rochelle looked like a ghost, hollow eyes, trembling hands. I'll move to Portland, she whispered. Start over. Please, just stop. And Isaiah?
I asked.
Her face crumpled.
Gone.
Took what money I had left and disappeared. He said this was all my fault.
Of course he did.
I signed the papers with one last condition. Isaiah would never see my children again. As far as they were concerned, he no longer existed. Rochelle agreed, tears dripping onto the contract. 16 years ended in silence. Months later, a postcard arrived from Los Angeles. No return address. Just Isaiah's handwriting. You won. Hope you're happy. I tossed it in the trash. Because I was. I had my kids, my home, and my peace. The past was buried. And the man who once allowed betrayal to break him? He was gone forever. Please drop a comment, and subscribe for more stories.